Hello and welcome to Nollywood Film Club. I am Mr. C, a Veruca critic. I hope you're doing well. This is a different episode from the previous one, just in case you got confused. I know the titles are very similar. But yes, we don't want to have to watch films that we don't like. So we decided that we don't have films to watch, we're not going to force it. We're just going to discuss Nollywood in general. Sometimes we have topics, and we'll we'll still be diving into on topics as I'm sure the time passes. But we're doing this a hangout one, which is a much more informal setting, as you'll hear from if you listen to the last episode you hear, and same as this one. So the topics that we discuss are in the timestamps below, but just in case, hear what we discussed a new trailer from Place Studios that's dropping called Hijack 93. We discuss a pitch from the filmmaker Niyi Akimolayo. We discuss AMAA Nominations, Inside Life from Clarence Peters, which is going to be a Netflix, I guess, a limited series dropping next week that we are going to be discussing in more depth. And we discuss a Chimamanda Project, which was fun, and I'm looking forward to doing that. And to finish off, we finish off with recommendations. So yeah, it was we got through a lot in an hour and a half. It's a fun conversation. I do enjoy these. We might just stop discussing movies in general. No, that's not going to happen. But these are a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoy Nollywood Film Club hanging out again. Welcome to Nollywood Film Club. We do usually discuss Nollywood movies every Sunday, 6 p.m. Sometimes we have conversations now I guess sometimes we have hangouts where we just talk about what's been going on in the world of Nollywood this week. This week, we have quite a few things to go about. Hijack 93 trailer dropped. We're going to discuss that. We're going to discuss Niyi's, Genevieve, and Ramsey pitch that he did. AMAA also dropped some nominations, so maybe we'll take a look at that. Inside Life drops next week. And there's a Chimamanda Project. I'm hoping... that's what I said. Whatever. Chimamanda Project. They'll check the tape and they'll see that you're lying. Sure. Yeah. I'm not editing it. Yes, I did say Chimamanda. It just happens sometimes. Anyway, there's a Chimamanda project I'd like us to take. It's not going to be for the faint-hearted. It's the same thing, to be honest. We'll see how that goes. But yes, I'm excited for this hangout. Let's see where they go, and then we'll discuss what we've been watching recently. If anybody has any recommendations, I think we picked some recommendations from last week. Anybody wants to say how any of that went? That's good. All right. First off, I guess we could start with the trailers. I think 2 trailers probably dropped this week. I can't remember if the what they call it, 77 trailer dropped this week or something. But I actually want to start with the Hijack 90, what's it called? 93. Yeah, Hijack 93 trailer. Have people seen this? Any thoughts that anybody wants to share with the Hijack 93 trailer?
I just want to ask a question. Is this based on actual something that happened?
Yeah. This is based on real true life story.
So a bunch of Islamists, because from I'm only going based on the trailer. I wanted to do research, but I have life. So a bunch of Islamists hijacked a plane in 1993.
A bunch of patriot Nigerians, apparently. has nothing to do with religion.
Election.
All right, come please.
It had nothing to do with religion.
The annulled
Oiko.
election. Is it June 12th?
Yeah, it's June 12th. MK
Yeah,
Abiola's
the
election.
election.
Oh, okay. Because from the way that they're presenting it, I thought something felt off because it's 1993. Again, my historian stuff was like, it's 1993. They are presenting it like 2000s American kind of
No, that's what
Islam.
our production design problems.
Huh?
Again, guys, it's Child's of Play.
Production design problems.
It's Child's of Play. I just
Like
need
the
to
way they were
remind you
presenting
guys.
it, I was just like, oh, maybe they made this up. Maybe it didn't really happen because I'm like, that doesn't make any context within the context of the historical period that they're saying it. Makes no sense. It's kind of like the Russians being in the 90s.
All right.
So,
Okay. Enough of the background conversation. I love the background conversation. How about the trailer? People who have seen it.
This is literally a conversation on the trailer.
It's not
It's
even
a conversation on the trailer, but I just want to say
it is a conversation on the trailer because
grounded in 1993.
it wasn't. It
about
wasn't in any way grounded in 1993. It just looks so like modern American, not modern, like early 2000s American. Like I was just like, did these people do something in Middle East or something like that?
please, no sepia. Me, I want to say that last year when the first looks dropped, it was one of my few early Nollywood tweets that went viral. Thankfully, nobody flogged me for this. They just thought I was funny. When they were releasing the cast list, I said, and I quote, "Who is going to be doing the acting?" And I just want to reiterate, who is going to be doing the acting in this film? Because
is eligible. I mean, Sam Dede is. It seems like
Sam Dede can't carry this film on his back. I love Bob Mano, and maybe the scene that was in that trailer doesn't do whatever he's doing else in the film any justice. But guys, Sam Dede cannot carry this film by himself because if we're basing it on the acting from the rest of everybody in the film, again, I ask, who's going to be doing the acting in this film?
I love that Bob Mano was like the head of the Nigerian military, but imported from America, I guess.
Period. The accent was accenting, guys. Yeah. I'm sorry, that man has always been hot and will forever be hot, and I'm willing to let go of that.
I'm sorry, did you say this is a Child's of Play production?
Well, yes, Onika.
Then why are we talking about this? I gave this too much thought than necessary. Thank you.
I was like, no, she's gonna end this. She's like, next.
Oh yeah. All right. Don't do Child's of Play like that. All right. So nobody's hopeful for this. All right. Okay. I saw the acting.
I am hopeful.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is that
I thought the trailer looked fun. I'm very interested in casting of the wigs though. Those bobs, I don't know where in 1993 or 1992 those came from, but I actually think the trailer looks like it could be fun without giving too much away.
That's an interesting way to describe hijacking as fun. But I see.
Well, I mean, I didn't particularly like the trailer, but for different reasons. It kind of was what I expected to be, the usual Play Network approach to action movies. But what I found interesting is that there was so much debate online about how it doesn't look like 1993, and that kind of surprised me in a way. I mean, there were some issues with some of the hardware in terms of the army trucks and the flat screens on the seats in the plane. And yeah, that is worth noting. But everybody was saying like the clothes don't look like 1993 and so and whatnot. And I'm like, what do you think the clothes in 1993 looked like? I felt the clothes were fine. I mean, like I saw people saying things like they're wearing flannel shirts in 1993. I'm like, do they think that we didn't have flannel shirts? I mean, obviously I'm the ancient person here who was around in 1993, and yes, we had flannel shirts. And those wigs that the girls are wearing, that is the perfect 1993 wig. Although I don't understand why they're all wearing the exact same wig. But that bob wig was a huge early 90s thing in Nigeria. So in terms of the clothing, I think it's fine. Some people say that they feel the color grading doesn't look like 1993. I don't know if they want it to be sepia toned or in black and white or more muted. In a way, I understand the instinct to want it to look a certain way, but I don't think there is any I don't think it's I don't think it's mandatory to make it look and to color grade it to say this is so long ago. I mean, the world still looked the same in 1993 as it looks now. What's wrong with just color grading it the way you grade anything else?
I
Yeah.
honestly also don't care much for historical accuracy. Like, I don't care if you're wearing a dress from 95 or 92 or 89. Um, if you promise me a good story, then I'm gonna be open to it. And hijacking a plane and the timeline it's set in, as far as what they're opposing and what they're trying to show, could be fun.
Okay, let's look at that
So can I speak on the color
positivity.
grading?
Okay, good.
Unfortunately, they went with sepia. I personally wouldn't have been offended if it just looked like regular colors, right? And there wasn't a very weird yellowy toned filter all over over the shot. Like I would just rather it just use regular colors and actually just improve. Show that you're in that time and let it not feel like what Nollywood does for a flashback to the 90s or whatever. That would have been a better choice in my opinion. It does look very sepia toned right now, and I don't particularly like that.
Okay. I imagine you mean the warmer colors. Yes, where we use it to do flashbacks for nostalgic reasons, and there's reasons for that. Like, but okay, you want something different. My problem with the trailer was I thought, like your trailer is supposed to have some of your best moments in there, and I'm worried if the best moments are in that trailer. Like, oh, at least not necessarily all of the best moments, but it should have enticing moments in there. And there was so much terrible acting in there that I don't know how the main movie is going to be somewhat better. I think it seems like they actually shot it in a plane, which seems like a mistake. Flight to Abuja, I don't know, I can't remember how Flight to Abuja did their own, but like it felt like somebody wasn't forcing a big camera into a plane for Flight to Abuja, whereas this feels like it feels congested. The way the camera is moving feels like, oh no, they've used a real plane and it's difficult to move the cameras in certain positions, and they've used like really bad. It doesn't feel the camera. I feel like I can feel the camera guy inside the actual plane moving or feeling uncomfortable with the movements. That's a bit of my worry, and the acting. The acting is the main thing. Also, it's being done by play, so there's already.
I expect it to feel very much like Blood Vessel, and I did not have a high opinion of that. I know many people did, so perhaps people who are not me might enjoy this. But yeah, my hopes are not high. I don't know why they did it on a real plane either. And if they're gonna use a real plane, why did they use one that had the screens? I mean, that was so weird to me. It's like I've never taken a domestic flight in Nigeria that had those screens. So I mean, it's like I feel you would have to even work hard to find a plane that has the screens. So it's not something like that couldn't be avoided. But we'll see.
You're forgetting that Charles of Play likes luxury, and so they're going to present luxury to you.
Very true. Very true. Very, very true. Very true.
Oh, predictions. We'll find a yacht somehow.
Well, okay. All right.
I was waiting for the yacht shot. I was waiting for even if we don't find a yacht, we're gonna get a big boat. I'm sure there's gonna be some soldiers coming from a neighboring nation on a boat. I see me and Mrs. C. I don't know who wants to bet us money, but bet us money that there's gonna be a boat in this film. Because there has to be a boat in this film, guys. Please.
Okay. All right. You weird people. By the way, I did think Blood Vessel just looked nicer than this. Yeah, there is a problem for me with them shooting in this thing, especially like with the lack of space. It just doesn't seem. Anyway, all right. We'll just see when it comes out. Not that. It's going to be dropping in a couple of weeks, and this one is global. I see it on my Netflix. Well, I assume it's global because it's shown in the UK. I don't know whether I imagine it's showing in the US as well and other places. But I can see it. You can set a reminder for it. So we're going to be discussing that at some point. All
Also,
right.
don't forget that there are movie about finding African scientists with Juliet Roberts' brother finding some magical mineral somewhere in Africa. It's coming out soon.
Huh?
Did you see the trailer with Juliet Roberts' brother?
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's this movie that is coming out. There was a trailer that is like about them going to go find some sort of magical Wakanda, like what's
I know
Wakanda
the
like?
trailer
I
Oluko
remember
is
watching
referring to.
that,
I
but I
have
can't
seen it.
remember
I just
what it's
can't
called.
remember
I
what
forgot all
either.
about it.
Yeah.
Are you talking
You've
about
seen it, right?
play? Are you talking about the play studios film? Why you say Julia Roberts?
Her brother
Juliet
is
Roberts'
inside.
brother,
Eric
her brother,
Roberts. Eric Roberts is in it.
Eric, Eric Roberts.
Eric.
Yeah,
I forgot he was inside. I forgot he was in that.
yeah. That movie is coming out.
Okay.
They're going to find. We're going to have our own Black Panther, our own random. To open a door to an African country, you have to apparently drum,
Okay.
and then the door opens.
Mawuli.
That kind of show. Now we're going to be the ones doing it ourselves.
Yeah.
Of course, we got a drum.
That's happening. Okay. The next thing I wanted to bring to people's attention, I think I've put it on the banner, is like, so Niyi Akinmola, he's a filmmaker. He does do films.
Can't we stay focused on good vibes for right now? You know?
What do you say?
Can't we stay focused on good vibes for right now?
Good vibes. This is good vibes. It's gonna be good vibes.
Vibes.
But I guess essentially he made this. He did a pitch. Somebody said, "Shoot your shot today. Tag a person or brand you would like to work with," and his tweet about Genevieve, Naji, and Ramsey are together as rival deadly assassins who fall in love. 18th century West Africa, where lots of tribal feuds were common and beautiful Igbo women were a sacred prize to be won only in battle. Right. So I think this has ruffled a lot of feathers, I think, understandably. I have a take. I guess I've probably not seen a lot, and I was interested in how generally people felt about that. One of my first take is the thing that stood out to me first was the thought of using assassins in Nollywood. Look, maybe it's the name, and maybe he would have done hired killer. I feel like we're more of a hired killer nation, and assassins is for a country where getting away with murder is difficult or is harder to do, and assassins are people who are a bit more slicker and like can get away with this a bit better. That was the first thing that stood up to me. The other thing is that like the first part didn't really mesh with the second. If Genevieve was like a hired assassin,
how are you winning her as a prize in war?
How does the second part connect? So I mean, like, I think for me, it's just for me, it was like a alien. It's just I didn't understand where he was going with it, and obviously, anyway, I'm interested in hearing
I
other people's
actually
thoughts.
understood. I feel like Genevieve would be rescuing women, I guess, from whatever is happening. That seems like the only way that they would go with this.
You guys are putting too much thought into something he just said randomly, because a lot of that's how they pitch. They pitch with random like something, and then when they get to the strict writing, then they actually stream it down. The issue is that Niyi does not know how to stream down, and does not also. It will be filled with too much unnecessary motherfucking graphics.
Fair. I'm with you on. I don't think there was ill intent. I just think it's the person who brought us Come Online was trying to say and it just didn't pass all of the filters, and it's just not. I mean, again, Come Online. It sounded like someone was trying to do a sexy line, right? Igbo women are sacred prizes to be won in war, like ooh la la. And it's like, no, sir, Nkuni, you're not. No.
I just want to say, intent be damned. Not trying to take it too seriously. I just think intentions be damned. This is very revealing of things you say offhand. Sometimes are revealing of your even things that you didn't consider were your biases in whatever shape or form. But beyond that, for me, again, I'm blocked, so I don't really care. This is a clear indication of why he makes the films he makes. I'm sorry, I don't think someone who is a great thinker, someone who actually carefully considers things, who actually, to a large extent, is intellectual, would think that that was an appropriate thing to tweet, especially as it had no relation to what the first half of that tweet was. Again, an indication of why he makes the kind of films that he makes. And I'm so sorry, it is very indicative of the kind of industry that Nollywood is, if that is one of the top directors in the industry. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I'm like here with you on that.
So, like,
The
shoot
man is
has
the top
enough
director
information
because
in it for
what?
us to feel like it's going to be like the pitch just doesn't say much of anything, and it feels like we're reaching a lot of conclusions by ourselves one way or the other. We don't know how the first half and the second half connect. I don't have much faith in me, which is fair, but it just feels like we're giving a lot of heat for this like random tweet that is not fully thought out, obviously.
I agree 100% with what she said. It's not fully thought out. It's clearly not fully thought out. And it's completely, it's, I can see why it's offensive. And not to say I can see why it is offensive to be saying that, oh, Igbo women are a prize to be won in war. It's offensive to just say like women are a prize to be won in war. Like, my friend, what's wrong with you? Also, just one problem. There's one broad problem nobody is touching yet. I think Genevieve and like Ramsey Noah are past the age where they are going to be doing that sort of roles. They are damn near 50. They're damn near. I think they're
That's
even
too
50.
much on Ramsey Noah. He's an action hero. Him and Jemai, please.
Yeah, like no, I'm
Period.
not saying that you can't do action hero, but like what you're having, that type of story is like ingenuine. Rival, like romance, like da 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 da. And I'm not saying we can't have an older people do it, but they should be more established and they're not going to be sending them out to be assassins. What are you kidding me? You can have like two different tribal kingdoms and they should be more established, powerful people. Maybe like um Genevieve is playing a trader, a female trader that has all these things, and then maybe she comes to something, they interact maybe through trade, something that brings them together. But it shouldn't be that story because they have aged out of playing those roles on screen.
To be honest, like I don't I actually maybe you know what, that makes sense, especially given the time he wants to set it in. If it was today, people have become fitter and blah 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 and whatever, and it might be much more difficult to buy that kind of thing. I would say though that one of the things that people are saying, he hasn't put much thought into it. I think that's the criticism, is that it doesn't make a lot of sense, and I think it was a little too reckless, given the situation at this point. And honestly, Niyi is somebody who has been attacked, because I think Niyi has an Igbo wife. I've seen some disgusting tweets under his mentions attacking him for things like that. So I think Niyi believes that it's almost like he's tweeted this with, you guys know me, you guys know where I stand on this. Probably like, I have no I don't have any ill feelings, don't have any ill intent, but like I think like Vanessa said, I think there's still something to be wary and to be careful about when you're putting tweets like that. And again, my biggest thing, the thing that jumped out at me the first time I read it is like, it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense as a tweet, but like,
I want to say, sorry to cut you short. I just wanted to say that, I mean, surface level, the tweet seems harmless. I just thought that when you say, I think the problem here is, again, maybe he didn't deep it again, as Vanessa said about thinking. But when you say, oh, which I really do enjoy intertribal films a lot, like to see the dynamics between cultures and stuff. But then when you end such tweets like, oh, the beautiful Igbo women are the sacred prize to be won, I don't know, right? Like, I feel like if you said something like, conquest, maybe you're gonna steal all their wealth. Again, material things can be a toss up. Like, of course, in war, you win, and it seemed, because the way it's framed is, you're saying there's lots of tribal fields, come on, but then you're saying that the price to be won, the Igbo women. I don't know. Because you already put the Igbo people at a disadvantage. It's like saying that, they're already up for the grabs. They are there. These are the common price to be won. So you're going to be fighting with whomst over them. Again, it's the framing, because I mean, there is really nothing wrong with intertribal 18th century. People are gonna fight. It's normal. It was the times. But I just feel like in 2024, if you're gonna be romanticizing, using, commodifying the human body as, I mean, you're gonna get back. So maybe this is the pushback that you're going to get. So maybe it's good as he's getting it now, so that he does not enter into a room with executives and start pitching it.
True. The thing about Niyi is, like, he doesn't have to enter a room to start pitching. Really, he's the kind of person who does have a lot of the resources to, like, just
start making
it as well. So, yes, I'm within. Like, it's
Let's
good.
tell him no, Bono, don't do it. So
it's good that the pushback starts now.
Yeah, so we don't have to push back on Film Club after watching 90 minutes of it. It's just, and again, yes, I agree with Vanessa saying this is how this thing kind of shows up in our films. Is the more we talk about it, right? Where do we go from assassin to prize to be won? The woman who is an assassin is not the woman they are winning as a prize, and it's just very half baked.
I think that's where the confusion is, because to me, I think he's actually talking about Genevieve as a symbol of feminism in a world where Igbo women are the prizes to be won. I thought that was what he was saying before this whole conversation started. I thought that was what he was trying to say, that in a world where women are prizes to be won, there is this deadly assassin, right, who is a female, and he met this warrior and they fell in love, something like that. That's what I thought he was talking about, actually.
Yeah, for me is, it might be something maybe only Niyi knows, but it's just 18th century. The quote is 18th century West Africa, where lots of tribal feuds were common, and beautiful Igbo women were a sacred prize to be won only in battle. Smiley face.
It's a
sacred prize to be won.
I would like to use smiley face. Yellow biminu gun. Why you adding smiley face? What do the smiley face have to do with this? Honestly, it was I was priming my face as I was reading the tweet because it didn't make any sense. And then I got to the smiley face, and genuinely that was just the last straw for me. I was like, so what do smiley about this now? Hi.
See, is that smiley face, that smiley face that indicated to me that he thought that line was sexy. I pictured a middle-aged man smiling after making that statement, and it stressed me out. It was giving uncle, to be honest. It was that smiley face that made it give uncle to me, and no. I don't see, there's no feminist bent to this.
All right.
My
I don't
own
understand why
problem.
feminism is even coming up as a sentence right now. Like, I don't feel like his intention was feminists, like, at all.
Guys, my own problem is this. This is my own problem with Niyi. I think Niyi wants to be, what's the name of the guy that did Spirited Away and all those other lovely movies? Oh my god. Kurosawa?
No shot. No
Yeah.
shot.
Let me finish speaking. I think he wants, I'm not doing shit. I think he wants to be Kurosawa. But the problem is this. He also likes a lot of 1980s movies. I think that Mr. Niyi, I support you doing you clearly have a love for graphics. And sometimes you do it very well. You do. I just need you to control your something. And I also need you to maybe, with the amount of money that you are putting into graphics, go to one of the colleges, one of our universities in Nigeria. Yeah? Ask them about things that happen in Nigeria. And use that to write a story, being inspired by American shit. Okay? And then localize it. And then also stop using too much graphics. Just stop. And then half of the problems in your movies will end. Maybe I'm being too generous. Because it's clearly a guy that has a passion for this. He has something, and I think that's good. But he needs to hear the word know and improve. You can't continue to be doing the same thing over and over again. That's my own. If you want to do this silly movie, go ahead, do the silly movie. I will also say stupid. Whatever. Go do it. It's something. But like, if he wants to improve. For me, it seems like nobody can tell him no, because he controls his own company, and therefore he does whatever he wants to do. And whatever he wants to do is just what are you doing? It's quite embarrassing. I'm done.
All right, thanks. Is there anybody else had thoughts on this before we move on to AMAA nominations? Okay, AMAA nominations have come through. I don't know how much we're going to have to say about any of these things, but the Weeknd is leading the pack with 16 nominations. The Weeknd is the film we're going to see hopefully in a few weeks. It's the one with Pucci and Uzo Samaka. Yeah. So I think this is the first time in a while like a Nigerian movie has made a splash at the AMAA award, since I would have to go back. In my memory is thinking Fair was the last movie to garner this kind of attention. I don't even want to ask like anybody have thoughts on like the AMAs and stuff, because do you know what? We don't watch any of it. These movies are not accessible, and it's actually the main thing that's under my skin, is that there's so many movies who have like from Nigeria that have gone to the awards system, and then that's it too. We had this thing won best this thing, and we will not hear from the movie again till God knows when. And actually, it's not just the same. It's not just Nigerian movies. It's a bunch of African movies as well. There's so many movies I would like to watch from African cinema but just they go to AMAA awards, they get their nominations, and it just seems like they die there, and the audience don't get to watch it. Has anybody like seen any of the AMAA nominations? I don't know if maybe I'm not looking hard enough, or are people watching some of these AMAA films? Exactly.
Where? Those movies are made for white people in expensive film festivals. Not, that's where they are for.
It's
Let's
such a
be honest, yeah.
It's such a weird thing, because like they're you come and win African award, made by Africans for Africans, and then like being made for just being marketed at a Western audience. That's just it seems weird for I don't know.
This is one of the reasons why I like Nollywood. Nollywood is for Africa, made by Africa. It's like the popularity for Africa. Just like Hollywood is like popular it's like popular something. Okay, once in a while the Europeans make too intellectual of a movie that he flies over most people's head, and it's just most of the time it's just about the directors and the person's personal proclivities and issues, and then they make it sound more bigger than it is, and I'm like, calm down. But these movies, hey, all the white people like them.
I think there's a wider conversation to be had beyond whether these films are being made for the Western audience or at least being marketed to the Western audience. And I think Lohi said something. I can't remember. I think it was during the whole Things Fall Apart Haha. And Lohi was talking about how more and more African cinema needs to experience co-production. We need to also explore co-marketing and a wider focus on encouraging the whole of the continent to watch each other's films, and our marketers and distributors of said cinema need to make that a priority. The problem is that it is currently not a priority to ensure that African cinema is viewed throughout the continent. So a lot of the time, these other smaller, I don't want to use the word smaller, but more obscure film industries, African film industries, maybe it's just that Nollywood is just a tyrant or whatever. But a lot of these other industries probably don't have the same resources as Nigeria does or what South Africa does. But there needs to be more of a focus on a co-op of sorts to ensure that African cinema just doesn't die in archives somewhere or goes through the film festival route and then just goes back and sits in an archive. It doesn't make any sense. It genuinely doesn't make any sense because I'm very sure there are people who want to watch these films throughout the continent and are not restricted to your countries or are not outside being able to watch these films at festivals. I think that's a conversation that needs to. I'm not in the industry, but that's a conversation that people who work in the industry, people who have a say in the industry, need to start having.
That's true. And let me just say, I was being a little bit facetious. When I say white people, I mean a very specific type of white people. I mean elites. Because this movie is not even it doesn't even go to like most white people don't watch it because it's not for the it's not that it's not for the masses. I'm pretty sure there's no artist who doesn't make their movies not for masses of people to watch it. But the way it is then delivered, marketed, or even given out for people to see, it becomes not for the masses. It becomes clustered in clustered towers that most people don't get to watch it. So when I say white people, I'm not talking about the mass white people. Nobody in Alabama is going to watch that movie, not because they don't want to watch it or maybe because they're racist. Probably they are, most likely, but they don't have access to it. That's just the truth. Even most movies, even some, like I talk about some of those European movies, right? As many people even seen them? How are we going to know if the masses will not like it or not? You don't give them the opportunity to see it. Okay? That's just true.
Yeah. And there's this article that Shay took a snapshot of, and I think it was written by Usman, that I've put on the Twitter board or whatever it is. But it's talking about how in 1991 this thing was an issue, and it's like 30 plus years later we're still dealing with it, and it's kind of sad. And when people have hopes for Nollywood, these are some of the things that dampen it, because like there's so many parts of the film industry that just hasn't moved, and why I think it's going to start now. But anyway, that's sad times. Anyway, so the next thing I wanted us to discuss about was so Inside Life drops. Inside Life drops next week. It's Clarence Peters' Netflix. I think it's a Netflix original. It has the N sign. I only know this because I have a VPN and I can go to Ghana Netflix and spots that it is actually going to be showing, because it's not it's one of those. It looks like it's either an African lock or sub-Saharan geolocked Netflix originals, which is interesting. I don't know whether this is normal with other African releases, or whether Netflix is doing what Prime is doing, but they're doing their own
I'll
quietly.
tell you that South Africa is not being geolocked. South Africa is not being geolocked. I just watched what's the name of this new one that just came out that was, in my opinion, not very good. One of their new family crime drama situations. South Africa is not being geolocked. I don't know what to tell you. So maybe Nollywood needs to ask a couple questions.
Maybe this because like this Hijack 93, that one is going to be available for that one's available globally. I don't know whether for South Africa, even though they are having these global ones, I don't even know if they're having some that are geolocked. Actually, I'm with you. I suspect it's not the case because just generally anyway, the amount of funding Netflix gives to South Africa much greater than Nigeria is receiving, and they've just been supporting that area better. But yeah, this is the lack of. It's just the increased geolocking. This year has been crazy. We've had something like gold. What's that Omoni Oboli web series? Which should have been on YouTube. Something year single. What? Last year single. Yeah, and what's the name of this? Even Lisa, I was surprised that Lisa B was geolocked. So, and same with this Clarence Peters Inside Life. These are all geolocked, and two of those things are apparently Netflix originals. That's a worrying sign. So, I wonder whether it's worth. We do have a few, a lot of our audience, anyways, already live in Nigeria, and this is for diaspora Nollywood Film Club members. If we have a, let's call it a diaspora NFC VPN, are people happy to discuss this kind of movies on Film Club, like Inside Life or the series? Inside Life is, I think, is a series, but are people happy to have that discussion? So from diaspora's NFC members, this is what I want to hear from you. If we have a NFC. What do you mean by NFC? VPN. VPN that's like basically anybody can access because like
so will like anyone can use the login and stuff.
Yeah. Because like the ones the VPNs that work are the ones that you do need to pay for. So
if we pay for one.
And not we NFC.
I don't have a VPN, but I'm happy to listen to the what's it called? To the what's it called? To the podcast, or to listen to people talk about it. Like, I'm not gonna stop. It's just it's my lot to not to be able to see it, I guess.
Is installing I guess is installing VPN. Is that too technical for people, is what I'm saying, because that's what I guess I'm asking.
Is installing the VPN too technical for
yes
people? I have never installed a VPN, so it might, but I think I can get around it, but I've never installed a VPN before. I've never used a VPN.
All right, all our other diaspora members, who else is here? Otas here. Oh, Otas was dropped. Vanessa?
I'm Kukuma here. It's not, I don't think the question for me is if installing a VPN is complicated. It's not. The question I'm sorry. The question you should be asking is, are we that committed to reviewing Nollywood films? No, now don't laugh. It's a genuine question. Am I still as committed to reviewing Nollywood films that are geolocked by installing a VPN, even if I'm not paying for it? I'm like, sometimes I do get exhausted by Nollywood, and I love talking about Nollywood, but it's a question of what is the level of my commitment. As I speak, I probably will be open to talking about it. I probably will be open to watching those films. Who knows? Maybe my commitment will waver as we go along. But as it stands, I probably am open.
Okay.
So basically, you're still with us in this abusive relationship.
I'm basically. Do you know the funny part? I was going to say, It's because of you people. If not because of you, wallahi, I will not do
All
it.
this relationship together.
Either way, it's either this or hangout. Is
Yeah, I'm very happy for you people not to get VPN because I just get to hang out and cheat and yap away. I mean, that way I have more excuse. I have good excuse not to watch. Like already this year, I've not been watching Hollywood on Netflix. Glory be to God. So if there is more reason for us not to watch,
Wow.
it's good for
Wow, wow,
me.
wow.
incredible. Okay. All right. Uchenna, what about you? Is Uchenna there? All right. Maybe Uchenna's left.
No, I am here. I'm sorry. I was trying to press the button. Yeah, I'm sorry. What was the question
The
exactly?
question
What about
is,
me? Do I agree with the VPN?
yeah. Is VPN is the VPN is installing a VPN too much work? Do you reckon to do this to discuss?
It's just clicking a button, isn't it? What's the work? What's the work there?
Yeah, well, I'm not hearing. I hear different opinions. Some people are like, we don't know whether we need
Just
to
say
go.
that you don't. It would have been better if you said that. Oh my God, VPN installing VPN is so much work. But
I mean,
you're falling for the propaganda. You're falling for the propaganda.
if it's a VPN that actually works, fine. All the times that I've subscribed to VPNs, whenever I tried to watch Netflix, they would say, we can tell you're using a VPN and we're not going to let you do it. Same thing with BBC iPlayer and all these other things. They always end up detecting the VPN and not letting it go through. So if it's one that actually works, I'm down with it. Hell yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. All right. Something to think about. It looks like we're more or less on board. Sorry. Sorry, Elizabeth. I'm sure we'll still have many a hangout to do.
We'll still have many.
Yeah. All right. So, couple more things, I guess, to discuss before we start doing recommendations. Oh, just one thing, actually. All right. So, speaking about assignments to give people, I'm actually, if you, I'm actually quite interested in doing a Chimamanda. Yeah, so the Half of a Yellow Sun movie is out. I think it's out on Mubi. I don't know whether people. People have access to it. So Mubi has a free 20 or 30 days distance, so we can get around that. I'm sure that's not the problem. But what I wanted to do was also do a book. People who have time to read the book or this thing. But we're actually coming on here to discuss the movie and I think in maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I'll figure the timing out and I'll let people know. I'll give people who want to read the book enough time, because where we can do some maybe compare and contrast and discuss our thoughts about the movies. If anybody doesn't want to read the book, I guess that's fine, and you can, if you watch the film, you can still join us. But that's a
You should be asking if you want to watch that God.
You have to give us 2 weeks or 3 weeks or maybe a month in advance, at least for the book, so that we can, for those of us that have other things. But I'm interested in watching the movie again, because the last time I watched it, no, seriously, I watched it when it came out, and I think that's been like forever ago. And I think I can't remember if I ever tweeted my opinion, but I think I didn't like a lot of performances or something. And then I'm bottom line is I'm interested. I want to watch it again and I want to read it again.
I know that was the movie that I
with my big girl eyes. With my big girl eyes.
Huh?
That style at your hair, bro.
who is talking?
Some random person who does not realize that I opened the mic.
Okay.
I was talking.
Okay.
The people that I deal with in my life. Anyway, sorry. Anyway, I was saying that was the first place where I saw the man from Star Wars. So I'm into watching it again, which was, I don't know what was going on in that movie, but I'm into watching it again.
Yeah, I mean, thinking back then, a lot was happening.
I was a little bit offended for Genevieve. I was a little bit offended.
No, I thought she wasn't carrying a lot of her weight in that film. I thought her
What
performance was
weight
tilted, but again, that was like old opinion. No,
what
so
weight
if you
was she
don't
had to
change,
carry in that something? They barely gave her a role. And I was just like, wow. They barely gave her a role, and they gave all the most important roles, right? To is Standing Nucci? No, she's Ugandan.
yeah,
And like
it was this
Aniki
other babe
Rose.
that was in it.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I think they were trying to market again, which comes to which brings us back to this conversation of distribution and accessibility. So, because when you think you, I don't want to use the word think, when you film like every other product is meant to be marketed, right? Like it's a product that you would want anybody to adopt. And the assumption is that you want people to acceptability would mean using a more Western facing actors. Again, similar conversations that we had last week about the entire Idris Elba business. Yeah. So I think it would be a really good time. It will make sense to be able to rewatch it, read the books, watch it, and see using maybe clear eye now to see where they went wrong, because using Tandiwe nothing. Tandiwe said that for so long she refused to tell people that she was Tandiwe until she woke up one day and she wait, look, I'm kind of Southern African. So, and then you have someone also like Chiwetel that's apart from the name for a while, so it was hardly from Nigerian facing, was exactly Western facing. They tried their best, to be fair, try to use all of this sort of African, but then I don't think they pulled it
mm,
off.
mm, mm, mm. Well, it looked. Me personally, I hesitate to call that a Nigerian movie, even though there is Nigerian money and production in it. I hesitate to call it a Nigerian movie.
I agree with
I
you. I don't.
because
I agree with you. I don't. I don't. It's funny. It's like in Nigeria. I'm sure it has. It's like a Nigerian. Well, it's supposed to be a Nigerian story. It has
this time
Nigerian
it's more
actors in it.
something.
It's shot in
Nigerian
Nigeria.
money
It's
went into that
no.
movie.
It's a Nigerian.
Nigerian money.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. It's a Nigerian screenplay. Well, Nigerian story from obviously a Nigerian author. It's has Nigerian actors in it, and it's shot in Nigeria. And it doesn't feel like it didn't at the time anyway. I've seen this once. I'd need to look. I need to watch it again with fresh eyes, and that's why I'm inviting everybody to watch with me. And so I I have to agree with you. It did not feel at the time like a Nigerian watch, but I'm interested in what this is. But I hear you, Elizabeth, in terms of enough time. I'll definitely do that. Maybe give us a month, and we'll have a discussion on both. That sounds nice. And then when maybe things fall apart, we'll probably do the same with that as well, wherever the hell it drops. Okay. All right. So I think that's all the general news that we had. What have people been watching? What do people want to recommend from the NFC members? Anything?
5 episodes into Nobody Wants This, and I'm loving life.
Was this
Period. Also,
recommended?
yes, I mentioned it last week.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Also, guys,
You're such a hater.
don't mind him. Don't mind him. Don't mind him. Guys, go back and watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, the animated version. I used season 1 to loosen my brains today, and I forgot how good it was, how good it is, how much fun it is, all the shenanigans. So if you haven't watched it in a minute, go and watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, the animated one, not that one that Netflix did last year. The animated one, guys. You have a great time.
I actually, when the live action, we were watching the animation and the live action concurrently, and I was so upset. I was so upset with the live action. The things they decided to copy, the same things they decided to leave out. I was like, I was like, I don't understand whether you understood why the animation worked in the first place.
They didn't. That's the point. They did not understand why it worked. It's
We were
very
having
clear
this
they didn't.
We were talking about it recently.
You were trying to compress. They were trying to compress. You
It's not.
guys, you
It's
We were
about
guys.
the
talking
choices
They
about.
they
were
made
trying
in
to
the compression. It's the
compress.
choices they made in the
Look,
compression.
look, look. I do get it because I too sort of, not sort of, I can be very um snobbish when it comes to like um original material and adaptations, right? And I get it, but guys, it's just, I don't know. Don't attack me, but it's just Avatar.
If I should
Yeah,
bite
you're going to
you,
get attacked.
if I
It's
should bite
fine.
you,
It's fine. Okay.
yeah.
But calm
But
down. Look at they put effort in there.
my thing
Honestly, and
is,
this is coming from me because some look. I also get very territorial, especially with like original materials and adaptations. I get it, but I find it fascinating also when I watch adaptations for the mere fact that I want to see how this director decides to interpret the original material. I mean, some choices are like, that's quite interesting, and some choices are like, what the fuck? I sorry for the French, I do, and I get
see,
it,
I
but
think the thing is, right? The
no,
thing is, it's not
it's just
just about being precious about adaptations. I was saying we were talking recently about this live action versus the animation thing. We were talking about like the Lion King and the Mulan. And I take that Mulan live action thing so personally because again, it's not just about being faithful to these things. It's sometimes the things they decide to cut, it makes me feel like you don't understand the story you're telling. That's fundamentally what it is the choices you're making and the things you're
agree.
cutting. It's like did we watch the same first version of this and you're losing so much of the essence of it.
Also, I don't know. I don't.
I think Lion King. Sorry, I know that Ekene is very passionate about Lion King, which I am too. But Lion King wasn't even about what was added or what was. Honestly, Lion King was just bad
Lion King,
No,
because
Mulan, I mean, no, I'm personal
Lion
about
King is awful.
because Lion King was bad because you can see that they try to even stay faithful. To be fair, Lion King itself was like an adaptation of a Japanese original white lion, whatever story or cartoon,
Kimber,
right?
not
But
really,
but
but yeah, I know.
yeah, not really. I mean, it's debatable. But my point is this is that Lion King did not even like try to change like the essence of the story. It was just bad.
Let
Was
me
trying to
tell you
tell the
why I'm
exact same
passionate about
story and it was just bad.
Avatar's live action. We
Sorry,
have
Vanessa.
suffered.
Before you even go, can I say that I don't know how where the live action. I'm suspecting they want to make 3 seasons based on 3 books, and except if I'm wrong, but the first season of the animation book is something like 20 episodes, about 20 minutes per episode. And but the live action is something like is 8 episodes of about an hour each. It's not compressed. If you multiply that out, that's basically three times 8, which is 20. That's about 24 episodes worth of animation for the first season. So it's not even compressed versus 20 episodes of the animation. It's not compressed as far except again if they're just completely doing something.
Yeah, I think because what I think they were doing is trying to. I don't think they're going to end up doing the exact how many seasons of Avatar. I think they just wanted to. I don't want to use the word get the story out of the way. A lot of the origin story, because I think at this point it seems like they have a destination, and they sort of like compressed like that old, I forget now, like that dream part where he, like that old, what's it called? Now, sorry, my brain is fried. But I could see them just taking things out and combining things that happen in like 3 different episodes and putting it inside one. And it just feels like they have a destination already and they have it written out.
Me, I'll tell you why it pained me. As fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender animation, we have suffered for 19 years, and we deserve to shake our ass on a yacht in Dubai because no, it's unfair. That do you people remember that Dave Patel one?
Hey God,
Okay,
That was
okay.
I have
Hold
opinions
on. Let
about
me
that.
land. You remember that Dave Patel one? Then this one started. Do you know me? I gave up halfway through the production of this, right? Because I had such hope when Netflix first announced it. The original creators of the animation are coming back. They're going to work with the team. And then halfway through the production, the original creators of the team packed their ngongo and left. They said, we're not the follow now do again. That's when I knew it had all gone to hell in a handbasket. Because these people said we will not allow our name to be solid. We will not attach ourselves to this project. And look at what they did to their baby. Look at what they did to us. And no. This was offensive, completely wrong. And I'm waiting for the original animators of Avatar to bring out a grown Avatar team. Avatar when they are older, because I feel like that's going to be fun.
Yeah, maybe what I think is maybe Netflix was honestly. I don't want to use the like I had hopes. I had neither hopes nor whatever, nor disappointment. I wasn't even looking forward to anything. But I thought because they had done the live action for One Piece, and the live action for One Piece was closely like it was one of those things that seemed like there was intention right there, like they took their time. Even the actor sort of like even looked very similar to the guy, so it makes to Luffy. So I thought, you know what, maybe Netflix are sort of like nailed live action. Okay, so if they can get by with One Piece not offending a lot of the One Piece faithfuls. So maybe maybe they'll do Avatar. But me, when I was watching the Avatar, when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, it was not as in quotes offensive as the Dev Patel's one, because this guy did that one based on he believed that, I mean, he himself is originally is Indian, or from that southern eastern Asian part, and he decided not to use like the Polynesian looking people. So I felt like, okay, maybe since these people now manage to use people that look like them, like, okay, maybe there's more intentionality inside there. People should not be angry. I'm on my knees.
People are angry.
See, one of my big, it's not even the story, it's what they did to characters, like the characters. I can't believe that they took this babe who was like almost, she was the lead, and her brother was, she was like a leader, and she was somebody who was trying to grow if you watch the animation, she doesn't really quite understand water bending that well, and she's going to learn with Aang and stuff, but like she has the actual leader quality, and her brother is a doofus but with a good heart. And in the live action they just changed it that almost like the brother is like the leader, he is the leader of the tribe, he's the one who is guiding everyone, and it's just like it leaves her with nothing to do. Like this, she's not that distinct from her brother anymore. And I'm like, why as a choice, why would you make that as a choice? It's just obvious. Like, you make your characters a bit distinct, and so that like, they can have fun they can have interesting interactions between them. But like, anyway, let's not do this. Is not Avatar space, but yes. Anyway, Rex, what did you want to say?
Thank you so much. I wanted to speak a little on the adaptation problem we're discussing, a little on it. Actually, I teach literature in a secondary school, Nigerian secondary school, and I try to, as much as I can, introduce them to seeing film from different standpoints. Whenever I introduce a new thing to them, I try to add a movie to it so it makes more sense to them. So one thing I realized is people from the ages of 12 to like 18 really, really, really enjoy these new adaptations. So I think Hollywood knows what they're doing. They're trying to like create a new cult of viewership. So especially the Half of a Yellow Sun, you said, when I think we just saw it last term, I got it in Blu-ray when it came out. When it was released, I got it in Blu-ray as a gift. So I was able to like do a run for them in school, and they enjoyed it. They read the book and then they saw the movie and they were, oh, this is really fun. And the same thing applies to Lion King. And I saw how and they were anticipating seeing the one coming by December. So I think adaptation for Hollywood, they understand what they're doing. They're trying to do something with the current issue with attention span. Young people these days, the attention span is so fickle. So we got used to seeing movies in a long stretch, which is why these shorter seasons makes more sense to people of this generation. They like seeing shorter films. They don't want to get into the main nitty gritty of film. So that's just one of the issues for the adaptation. And then for the one you just spoke about concerning the what's it called? The we had spoken about this earlier. Let me just brush up a little on that concerning the storytelling and Niyi Kimolaya's issue. I think a lot of things that are going on with him is the fact that we don't have small storytellers. He understands that Nigerians like big things. A lot of us don't patronize short films, which is one thing I'm trying to introduce to my kids to let them know, okay, there are short films you could see, and I'm happy I got at least two of them to be fans of it. So if he realizes that a lot of people enjoy short films, or they actually want to understand film or know better about film and storytelling, he would, sit up at some point. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's my 2 cents.
All right. Thanks, Rex. I'm just going to tie in that short films question with Shagun's the thing where Shagun's comment where he's asking, "Are we going to ever review short films again on NFC?" Yeah, and I think one of my issues with reviewing short films on NFC is just most people who are making short films as beginner filmmakers, and a lot of the times they're just starting, and I don't feel confident putting their work up here amongst the major films that we can just speak about freely, because a lot of these people should know better. They've been at, they either have bigger budgets and blah blah blah. I don't actually mind talking about a lot of them in to some degree, with the knowledge that maybe this person, but like that's just not as fun, and I don't want to be holding my tongue or biting my tongue. And honestly, if we do see short films that are interesting and are pushing the bound, I'm happy to really put them up for us to discuss. I mean, it's less of our time, to be honest. I don't mind doing that, but it's just a lot of the times they're from first time filmmakers, and sometimes they don't even have a lot of people on it. But it's something I'm definitely keeping an eye out for. And people do send short films.
Yeah.
We take a look. Sometimes I've also tweeted out my support for some that I've thought have at least been in creative with how they've gone about it. But yeah, thanks, Rex. All right. Does anybody else have recommendations? Ricky has recommended The Resident, it's a series on Netflix, and House of Spoils on Prime Video.
Guys, last week I said that you guys should watch Rings. I will never know if it is Rings of Power or Ring of Powers. Always I did it with Game of Thrones or Games of anyways. The season has ended, and I just wanted to mention that Rings of Power season 2 way much better than the first season. The first season was a drab. I know that Ekene is very finicky about CGIs, and the CGI in this one isn't that bad. In fact, it's okay. I cannot be comparing with Peter Jackson, but it was way better than The Hobbits, and The Hobbits had terrible CGI. Even worse than Lord of the Rings trilogy. I don't know how that happened. So, if you are the type that like the lore, you like the old Tolkien world, I think this is really great. It's very interesting if you're very much on the fantasy, supernatural side of things. That is nice. What else am I watching? Not watching a lot of films, but I did watch some older films, some old Hollywood. I watched The First Wives Club again, 1996, with
Literally did
Diane
the same.
Keaton, this babe's
Diane
mom,
Keaton.
what's her name?
Yeah,
Diane
Kate
what's that her
Keaton.
Hudson's
name?
mom.
Goldie Hawn.
Yeah,
Goldie
Kate
Hawn, the love of
Hudson's
my life.
mom.
Yeah, Goldie on. Oh my God, it was. I watched it again, and I think I have watched it once, but I must have been really, really small back then. But I watched it again, and it was really good. And first thing that popped in my head, we need fun. Even Hollywood has lost writing because look at the way people are so eager to jump on. Nobody wants this because we've been inundated with YA. Don't not This is not a this. I do sometimes like YA, but there was a time I really was revolting on my Twitter, and I remember did a thread on how the very similar
Why
templates
you're calling me?
since
Because I don't do.
when all the YA came out, they just followed similar templates. And when you ask for romance, you were getting, it just felt like romance, at least in film, rom-com especially, was dead. But nobody wants this. Really perfect. So when I watch First Wives Club, I'm like, Hollywood really needs to bring back fun stuff, really, with people with normal looking teeth. I think I've missed seeing normal people's teeth in films, enough of the veneers. But it was great. I watched First Wives Club. What else did I watch? Not a lot. Again, just YouTube. And the YouTube is just Omoni Oboli's channel with Bam Bam's new film. That's it. That's all the recommendation for now.
All right, thanks. I think I speak on behalf of Mrs. C and I, where it's like we second the First Wives Club.
Yeah,
Yeah, we saw that. Was this year or last year?
I think it was last year.
Last year, that was it's just so much fun. You've got your hands on. Do you have recommendations for us?
Yes. I've just been listening the entire time. Been fun today, actually. I don't know if anyone's watching Penguin on HBO. I think it's really, really good.
No, not yet.
Oh yeah, I think it's very, very good. And for the first time, I think they've got a DC show, very, very good. That I'm not even thinking about Batman. I don't even want Batman involved in any way, and I just want it to be about Penguin. But yeah, that's the show I'm watching now at the moment. And I've also seen a show. Sorry, the film The Violent Night. I think is a Christmas movie type thing. So yeah, those are two things I've seen recently. So yeah.
Yes, Violent Night is
I like
basically
Violent Night.
It's basically some sort of Bruce Die Hard and Home Alone, but Santa Claus. Yeah. That was a fun time. Nice.
Yeah, that was a fun time. And we're doing the
Sorry, what's the title? Violent Night.
Yes.
Okay.
Rotimi, recommendations?
Yeah. Okay. So because I watched the original one, so the part 2 just came out. That's the platform on Netflix. That was like what I saw on Netflix just recently. If you probably should see the first one then before you see this one. Then they've started my new season of Legend of Vox Machina. Sorry, I'm also an animation person, so they just gave me 3 episodes and it's coming out every Thursday. And I also branched to YouTube. I don't think we've done all of us on YouTube. I saw that a couple of weeks ago, the teenage young YA Nigerian meets elites. But yeah, that was, at least I like the production and everything. I don't know if it would have been made for a fun discussion. Then I branched to you with Kadari. This was a recommendation by someone. Somebody made me sit down and watch Honey Pot. It has Tony Montana and Timini. And in the spirit of no to reason, I had the most entertaining time. I was laughing until my sides were hurting. It was like the most entertaining. It was not entertaining because it was great. It was entertaining because it was ridiculous, and it was funny as hell. Then sorry to side note to them. Sorry to carry you guys back. Oh, please. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to do a Polo or just shameless plug in here. Sorry. Please, for the people that are skeptical about watching on Inside Life, please, I worked on Inside Life. And I'm like, please, I think we've had that whole thing before. Like, go and do your own movie. You can talk about it. Say, let's see your own movie. Please, is one of your room members that has finally done. At least I worked on the project. I was this small Wakapas role. I was the assistant director. I found the writers. And yes, and it's from Clarence Peters. This is his first dramatic stuff coming to Netflix. It was originally supposed to be a worldwide release. Netflix booked us down to just license, so we're just basically Africa, Nigeria. So anybody interested thinking about getting VPN, I think that even just for a discussion case, whether I'm not going to, I'm going to okay. Let me just put some things down. I did not try and the series did not try and make a Hollywood film. It's a Nollywood, very Nollywood stuff. I think it's very. We have a lot of indigenous language inside it. This was one of the reasons probably they didn't want to give us a worldwide release because we didn't speak majority in English. It was mostly indigenous. We have different languages. They are local. There are a lot of upcoming actors, which is their first time. Their first time. Some people are going to see for your first time. Some people are younger actors that have done some smaller things, but this is their first time being on any platform like this. I can guarantee you two performances from two people. If you look out for Chigirl, you're going to see Chigirl perform in a way you have never seen her perform before because she's usually known for her comedic performances. This is going to be different. Then Gabriel Afolayan. Like Gabriel, like I was sitting opposite Gabriel. I was doing my waka pass. I saw Gabriel performing and I was like, I almost broke character. I wanted to stand up and clap. Gabriel was that good. So please, there is one coming out on Friday. So anybody, you have 5 days if you are trying to do VPN. Just even if you just want to come and insult me, Vanessa, I'm looking at you. Please come and insult me. Just come and watch and see what did this yeah boy do. So please, on 11th, Clarence Peters Inside Life. Thank you.
The actual call out. What did I do?
Yeah,
Kimoche.
I
So
mean the
please,
actual
what
call
I'm
out, but let's be fair, Vanessa. You know that you as you are watching like this, you just carry Rotimi for you just write his name save on the paper because that's what I even
I
plan
actually
to
have
do.
found.
Because Rotimi,
It's funny.
I'm going to
I
write
found my NSC
Rotimi.
notepad, so I will write his
Rotimi
name
is
on my
so
notepad.
bad that he almost broke a Waka Pass character. Like I actually break character doing Waka Pass. Oh Lord.
So just watch out for me. I'm the guy carrying the gun. You see me, I'm behind Meg or someone carrying a gun. That's me. You can't miss me. Don't worry. But I'm not the main guy in the film. Don't worry. Yeah.
Okay, all right. All right. Thanks, Rotimi, for the recommendations. Just have to say, I watched the platform first one. I thought it was interesting. I do think it's much smarter than it thinks it is, but I might actually give the second one because it's one of those easy watches. It's a high concept movie, so it goes down as a very
I
Netflix
didn't know they
film.
made a second one, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. Like it's obviously the thing's always there, so you can show a different time or something of the platform.
Yeah. Speaking of recommendations, last week did we mention that we saw Beetlejuice? It's spooky season, so go back and watch the original Beetlejuice. And I had a good time at Beetlejuice. So
All right, yeah, horror comedy. All right. So, do you want to give us a recommendation?
Yes, please. I'm gonna start with co-signing what Rotimi has said. I got a chance to see I think an episode of um Inside Life at Afrif, and I was very very impressed. Very very impressed. It's very stylized, and there's just so many nuances that even I myself had noted down. You know that if an opportunity presented, if a project presented itself, I was gonna introduce that. It's in a way the gangsters are presented that is like the nuances are very well thought through. They're not. It is not. It's the type of thing you see in a Guy Ritchie movie where it's just taken in audition to do it.
Guano, we have had Inside Life promo. Okay, we watch it. We
No,
will
no,
watch it.
it's good. It's good. I can't speak to like the overacting story because I didn't get to watch it to watch all the series. But I think like it's great. It's great. Um,
Any other recommendations?
yes, please. Since VPNs have been mentioned, I'm just gonna recommend a film called Tejuri, which happened to be directed by myself. I think that the filmmakers kind of knew what they were up to there. Yeah, I'm gonna recommend that if you can. It's a great watch, and I'm curious to hear reactions as well. I'm very curious to hear reactions. So if you can, please check it out. It's called Tejuri. It's available on Showmax. Um, for those who are not in within Africa, you could VPN it. If you are, please check it out. And feel free to hit me up. Um, I'm 200% down. If you guys think it's worth a space, I am totally also down to I don't know, refute or do a refuting section. I don't know if that has happened yet. But yeah, cheers. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Joker.
Unfortunately, Showmax,
Showmax
we
is
haven't
one.
been able to get Showmax to work with this.
Yeah, Showmax.
Showmax has banned us.
Showmax said nothing for you people.
They saw how many
Even with
tweets we made.
VPN.
They saw how many tweets I've made about pull up in Alexa and pull up in a Bentley, and they really
Now,
said keep your shit to yourself.
I felt so spiteful because I was loving life. We pull up in Alexa.
Pull up in our Benz.
Oh,
all right.
Right before season 2 as well.
Okay. All right, Anka, any recommendations for us? Also, please put the name of your film. For the people who have access for Showmax,
yeah.
put it in the comment section, and people who can access it can access it.
Yeah. Recommendations. I don't know. So I just wanted to say, because last time I said people should watch What Comes After Love, which is like a co-production, but really it's mostly Korean something. I just want to say it's not the romantic comedy, because I know I gave like Cinderella After 2 a.m. and like that's not a romantic comedy. It's a romantic drama with emotions and whatever. But I still think people should watch it. So far, it's wonderfully shot, and I don't know. I mean, my romance moments. No gain, no gain, no love. I think that is also lovely. It is romantic, but it's more focusing. I think it does focus on like. I just like it. So I don't know. You guys might like it. You guys might not like it. Those are the things I'm watching currently. I'm about to go watch Ginseng's Creatures. You know. So I'll give my recommendation after that if I see if I like it. But yeah, that's it.
Okay, thanks, Anka.
I didn't make no film though.
Please, for everybody who makes recommendations, please put them in the comments so that we can people can just look through them. We saw Joker 2. Was that yesterday? All right,
yeah.
We saw Joker 2 recently. We have different takes on it. I quite liked it, and Miss C doesn't. Yeah, Miss C is not a fan. So
that's 2 for 2 on Todd Phillips' Jokers for me. I have not liked either of them.
Yeah. All right. And Rex, I want to call you for a recommendation. I feel like I have.
No, I didn't give a recommendation. I just made a statement.
Okay.
So for recommendations, I think there's this really cool film. It's What's Inside. That's what it's called. It's What's Inside. It's for those who are always following the spooky season follow-ups. That's something you should check out. Grotesquerie from Ryan Murphy. If anybody has access to FX, then you could check it out. And anybody who wants to hate watch, I just saw something on YouTube. It's almost looking like It's All of Us, but possibly even worse, because it's trying to like mirror an K-pop or K-drama whole saga and so on. So if anybody wants to hate watch, I don't know what it's called, but I'll check and I'll add it to the comments. What else? Yeah, Brilliant Minds too. Anybody who thinks they can stand the whole Grey's Anatomy in a different sphere, you could check it out too. Yeah, so that's all.
All right, thanks, Rex. And finally, Goga Clay.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thanks, Iroko Critic, for creating a community where Niger cinephiles can who require quality can gather. So pleased to be a part of the community. I heard you guys all making recommendations, so I want to make mine. It's a shameless plug. It's my short film. Features Tokpe Tedela. It's called Employee of the Month. I put it in the comments. It's only 19 minutes. So it's a quick watch. I promise you it's a quality watch, and I'm happy for you guys to review it. You guys can insult or praise. Everything's everything's accepted. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
The way everybody's like, you guys can insult or praise our this when we talk about it. Vanessa, this is mostly your fault. This is mostly your fault, Vanessa.
It's also ridiculous that this is my fault because I don't insult anybody. That's the thing.
Right, let's take critique.
I don't insult anybody. You said what? Is it because I called for a couple jobs?
Consider a new career path.
No. Hold on. Is it because I called for a couple jobs? No. I see. I'm just trying to take the path of a life coach. Just no.
We discuss moving
topics. I just want people to
consider.
sit with themselves. I just want people to sit with themselves and consider their life choices closely, and perhaps question if this is for them. That's all. That's genuinely all.
A thoughtful queen. All right.
Period.
All right. Okay. Well, I think at the end of the recommendations, that's it. Next week, it looks like we're going to be doing Inside Life. I'll do the necessary VPN people. I'll reach out to you as well, and I'll put up with tweets. You can reach out to me when the hour has arrived. But yeah, we'll do tester. Make sure like things are working as need be. But yeah, thanks everybody, and I'm kind of enjoying Nollywood Hangout. I'm partial to Elizabeth. I feel what Elizabeth like without the hassle of watching a 2.5 hour movie that you're gonna get bored by. But yeah, thanks everybody. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the episode. If you enjoyed listening and would like to join live, just follow us on Twitter at IrokoCritic and join us every Sunday 6 p.m. West African time on our spaces.